What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you concerning Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is in negotiations, and it's almost set, it looks like, for him to fight Errol the Truth Spence. Now, on February 19th, these guys are supposed to have a pay-per-view event, and now I know why Errol Spence was so hush-hush about it. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, who the hell does he have to stay this hush-hush about? You know what I mean? Because, you know, of the inevitable of all the talks and the beef back and forth between him and Terrence Crawford. You know, I think that Mikey Garcia is taking a risk, of course, you know, but it's a high risk and a high reward if he does beat Errol Spence Jr. But if he doesn't, you know, it will be pretty much typical, you know what I mean? I don't see him, if he loses, you got to throw him in the same pot with Brook and Khan. You know, he just never lost, but I mean, neither did Brook before he went to Golovkin and fought him at 160, at a full 160. There was no catch weight. You know, Mikey Garcia, you know, he's not asking for any catch weight. So, you know, you got to commend him on that. So if he does win, he gets all the credit. He gets all the accolades. He's taken out the quote unquote, what they call boogeyman of the 147-pound division, which a lot of people call him. I don't. But, you know, if Errol Spence wins, oh, well, that keeps him busy, I guess, you know, and he's beat a top pound for pound fighter. But if he beats Mikey Garcia, I don't see him taking that slot. I don't see him getting real credit for beating Mikey Garcia because Mikey Garcia is not a welterweight. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is an exciting fight because Mikey Garcia does, in all of his 38 fights, he has found a way to win, you know, and he wants to challenge himself because, like Terrence Crawford, Mikey Garcia is considered retiring soon. I think he likes that good, you know, that good relaxation. He's looking forward to retiring. But you remember, he did have a 2-year layoff, so you know he's good and fresh. A lot of times, you know, when Mayweather took all those layoffs, you know, it basically benefited him for taking those layoffs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times because it was helpful for him to rest. You know, and he really didn't have a heavy party life. I'm not sure about Mikey. I know like Mikey likes to enjoy himself, you know, with his cars and, you know, with other things, you know what I mean? But for the most part, he is a dedicated, focused fighter. And I am glad that this fight is being made because for a while we thought it was just being swept under the rug, you know, by whoever, you know what I mean? So, Errol Spence will be a tough fight for anybody, you know. But you know, I wish them well on, you know, on these, you know, in this fight. I hope it happens. You know, we knew it was going to be next year sometime. I'm glad that it did not happen in December. I'm glad because, you know, that takes the thunder out of Wilder Fury or Fury Wilder. You know, it was just going to be on the undercard, and that was kind of going to steal the thunder from that fight. You know, it would have probably sold more, though. You know what I'm saying? Because so you look at it that way on a business, the business aspect of it. If they would have had that fight, Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia on the undercard, like the co-main event, you know, it could have probably, you know, went past 1 million views or whatever. And then, you know, of course, Eddie Hearn would have had to oblige the 50-50 split for Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. So, you know, that's nearly here or there. But, you know, one thing begets another thing. But I'm glad they have their own date. They have their own venue. They have their own headline pay-per-view. You know, so Mikey Garcia, you know, he is brave. That's why we call him the Mighty Badger versus the Mighty Rhino. The Mighty Rhino's, you know, Errol Spence because he comes right for you, throwing nasty hooks, uppercuts, you know what I mean, to the body, and he digs, and he, you know, them things hurt. You can see him working the heavy bag, you know what I'm saying? And the question is, it's like, well, how would Mikey deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Deal with those type of shots. We just got to find out when the fight's made, if the fight gets made. You know, but that's the new buzz. Mikey is, you know, an orthodox fighter. He does have that straight right. and I could see him throwing that straight right down the pipe, you know what I mean, and timing it well. And he has good timing speed too, because, when he fought Robert Easter had long arms. He was quick, he wasn't as powerful, but he was fast and busy. And Mikey was still able to pick his shots, but he stayed poised. He stayed patient. He laid in the pocket, you know what I mean? He closed the distance and he was able to land that right hand at will. So, let's see if he's able to do that with Errol Spence. And the thing is, though, here's the thing about Errol Spence. Errol Spence hits hard. Errol Spence is no Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner has decent snap on his punching power. Errol Spence has thudding punching power. It thuds. You know what I mean? They're like those body punches, they rip to the body. I think he's a harder body puncher than he is upstairs. Not to say that left is dangerous, because he chops with it. He kind of chops like Trinidad did with his right. You know what I'm saying? He does the same with his left. The problem is, to me, I look at that fight. Can Mikey Garcia, can he stay busy and outwork Errol Spence? You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I don't see him knocking out Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence is because of his style, he's a come forward fighter. He does get hit more than he probably should. Okay. So the question is, can Mikey Garcia's punching power hurt Errol Spence? When at least can his punching power give respect? You know what I mean? Because he's going to have to hit Errol Spence with something that makes Errol Spence respect him, and not barge in and rip those punches to the body and throw caution to the wind. He's going to have to do that, because if he doesn't, Errol Spence is going to walk right through him. You know what I mean? Because, Mikey's just not like, he can move. He has footwork. He has good footwork, but he's not known to be a mover. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a Terrence Crawford or a Mayweather or anything like that. You know what I mean? I think he moves a little bit more than someone like Canelo, but he's not really a guy that likes to move around a lot. I mean, he uses the ring when he needs to, and he's going to need to be mobile in there with a guy bigger, stronger, like Errol Spence, because he's going to come to cut off the ring and to work the body. You know what I'm saying? But it is an exciting fight. It's definitely a pay-per-view worthy fight to me, because I'm going to pay for it. And I'm going to support it, because you got a guy that's one of the pound for pound elites that's taking on the guy that is avoided by a few guys in the same weight class, which is pathetic to me, honestly. But I don't want to go into that. But I mean, both undefeated guys from different weight classes coming together. I would feel better if Errol Spence would meet Mikey at probably like 145, honestly, or 144. If Earl can make the weight, you know what I mean? I haven't heard of him having weight problems, but he is a big welterweight. So, I would feel better for that. And if I was Mikey Garcia's camp, I would definitely ask for those type of concessions. You know what I'm saying? Because Mikey should be the A side in this equation anyway, coming up to fight Errol Spence for his belt, but that's just my opinion. Because, just like Terrence Crawford should have, if he ever fought Spence, if Spence gets past Mikey, right, Terrence Crawford should be the A side. You know what I mean? That's why, of course, Errol Spence wants all those belts, because he wants some type of leverage on the business end of the aspect. You know what I'm saying? Across that table, that conference room table, he wants that, that dominance. So, it's probably one of the reason he's wanting the Mikey fight, because he knows Mikey is a Hall of Fame fighter. But you can't take away what Mikey's done in other weight classes by just beating him. That's one thing he has to understand, being Errol Spence. You bring a guy to your weight class, how much credit are you really going to do from beating him? You know what I mean? Because that's pretty much expected if you walk right through him, then people are not going to want to fight you. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. I hope the fight happens, but it looks like it's pretty close to being made on February 19th of next year. So, hey, let's keep our fingers crossed, guys. You guys tell me about this upcoming news and this possible fight. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.